Hi, my name is Emily Herman. This is my first book critique video. My featured text in this set is Joyful Noise, Poems for Two Voices, written by Paul Fleischman and illustrated by Eric Beddoes. The genre of this book is poetry, and it won the John Newbery Medal in 1989. This book is a collection of different poems, all of which are about insects. Each poem has two sides to them, and they're meant to be read by two different readers at the same time. When the two sides are read at the same time, a rhythmic story of each insect is told through the readers. I chose this book as my featured text because it displays poetry in a fun and unusual way that I think would help engage students in the content. My first lesson with this book is for a 4th grade language arts class and is based off of a 4th grade Common Core literacy standard. After reading this book, students are going to get put in groups. Each group will be assigned one animal. Each individual student will be writing a poem on their assigned animal. They will use their groups to brainstorm and discuss facts about their animal. They are going to use a website called Poetry Games that walks them through the process of how to create animal poems. When they are finished, they will share them with a 1st grade class in their building. My next lesson is a 3rd grade science lesson based off of an Ohio Life Science standard. Students will read the book and then choose an insect that was in Joyful Noise. They will then research that insect and use in their life cycle. Using Canva, each student will create a digital life cycle poster describing what happens in each stage for their specific insect. They will then get to teach the class about their insect's life cycle. This is an example firefly life cycle that I made using Canva. I read 7 other books this week. Owl Moon is written by Jane Yoleen and illustrated by John Schoner. It is a picture book for grades kindergarten to 1st. This book won a Caldecott Medal in 1988. This book is about a little boy who went to search for owls one night with his pa. It was the middle of the winter, and by the time they got to the woods, the little boy was cold, but he didn't tell his pa, because when they go owling, they have to be quiet. They couldn't find owls, but eventually they found one in a tree, and stared at it until it flew away. After it left, they walked home, and the boy could finally talk again. Sam Bangs and Moonshine is written and illustrated by Evelyn Ness. This is a picture book for grades 2nd to 3rd. This book won a Caldecott Medal in 1967. It's a story about a girl named Sam who has a problem with lying. Her dad calls it moonshine. One day, she sent her friend Thomas and her cat Bangs to a rock in the ocean to look for her fake pet kangaroo. That day, a huge storm came and her dad could barely save Thomas and Bangs. Through this experience, Sam learns the difference between moonshine and truth. Song and Dance Man is written by Karen Ackerman and illustrated by Stephen Gamble. This is a picture book for grades kindergarten to 2nd. It won the Caldecott Medal in 1989. This book is about a grandpa who used to sing and dance. One day, he took his grandkids to the attic to look for his old dance shoes. When he found them, he tried them on and began to dance like he was on the vaudeville stage again. His grandkids told him that they wished they could have seen him dance on that stage for real, but he assured them that he wouldn't trade a million nights on that stage for the days he gets to spend with them. William Blake's Inn, Poems for Innocent and Experienced Travelers, is written by Nancy Willard and illustrated by Alice and Martin Provenson. The genres of this book are poetry and picture book, and are for grades 2nd to 3rd. This book won the Newbery Medal in 1982. This is a story of William Blake's Inn, written entirely in poems. In this inn, rabbits make beds, dragons make bread, sunflowers talk to William and move on their own. The Little Island is written by Margaret Wise Brown, under the alias Golden MacDonald, and illustrated by Leonard Weisgard. This is a picture book for grades kindergarten to 2nd and won the Caldecott Award in 1947. This is a story about an island where all the animals come throughout the year to make it their temporary home. One day, a kitten comes to the island. Throughout its adventures on the island, it learns that the island is still on land. Through this experience, the kitten learns about faith. Arrow to the Sun is written and illustrated by Gerald McDermott and is a picture book for 2nd to 3rd grade students. In 1975, it won the Caldecott Medal. This is a story about a boy who came into this world by a spark sent from the King of the Sun. The boy had no father growing up, so one day he left to find him. The boy found an arrow maker who was wise and told him that he came from the sun. The man turned the boy into an arrow and sent him to the sun to find his father. When the boy got there, the King of the Sun told him that he had to prove himself. He went through a series of trials. When he got to the last one, he transformed and got the power of the sun. The boy and the father rejoiced. Where the Wild Things Are is written and illustrated by Maurice Sendak. This book is a modern fantasy and picture book and is for grades 2nd to 4th. In 1964, this book won a Caldecott Medal. It is a story about Max, who got sent to bed one night without dinner. That night, his room turned into a forest. He sailed to a place where the wild things are. All of the creatures here were scary, but Max tamed them. They made him their king. Even as the king, Max was lonely and wanted to be with someone who loved him. He left the island and sailed home, where he found his supper waiting for him.